Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. This is a direct intervention from heaven. Someone who treated you as completely replaceable is currently experiencing a massive internal system crash. And it is a public, irreversible collapse. You know exactly who I am talking about. They walked around with absolute arrogance for years. They constructed a completely false narrative about you. They whispered lies to anyone who would listen to their poison. They expected your quiet departure to finally break you, but instead, you became the exact uncertainty they were never built to handle. And now, the very people they used to gossip with are watching them unravel. Their mask has completely shattered. Buckle in right now, beloved anointed ones. What you are about to hear is not a coincidence. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here. God intercepted your feed today because you are standing at the threshold of a permanent timeline shift. If you scroll past this message, you are actively choosing to sever the exact destiny prepared for you. The enemy is screaming at you to swipe away right now. He knows this revelation will permanently destroy his access to your life. I am going to walk you through the specific X-ray of the meltdown happening behind closed doors. Do not move. Lock your attention on this frequency, because the verdict on your next decade is about to be read aloud. Now, I need to address the physical reality of your current state. That burning feeling sitting deep in your throat. The strange lump you keep swallowing back down every time their name flashes in your mind. Stop swallowing it. That heavy and suffocating tightness in your chest is not random stress. Listen to me very carefully. You are not going crazy. The nights you wake up at exactly 3 a.m. with your jaw tight and your heart racing, that is absolutely not a medical condition. That physical weight is your highly advanced spirit detecting the sheer panic of your enemies. They just realized they permanently lost access to your pure light. They are starving for your fuel, and the spiritual backlash is hitting your physical body. You were the ultimate stabilizer in their chaotic and toxic matrix. You absorbed their darkness and reflected back nothing but grace. They used gaslighting as a weapon to completely distort your perception of reality. They wanted you trapped in an endless cycle of self-doubt. But their dark manipulation violently backfired. You did not break under the immense pressure. Instead, you quietly built an impenetrable mental fortress. Your silence became a lethal weapon that starved their demons. You stepped into a season of supreme spiritual isolation. This was not a punishment, chosen one. It was a divine incubation period designed to protect you from their deeply rooted matrix programming. You are the rare cycle breaker. They tried to convince you that your pure intuition was flawed. They told you that you were overreacting to their blatant disrespect. Every single time you caught them in a lie, they aggressively flipped the script. They wanted to make you the villain in a story where you were the only authentic diamond, but your cellular knowing refused to be silenced. You stopped arguing with a literal glitch in the matrix. You stopped trying to prove your worth to someone who is fundamentally blind to value. And that exact moment of absolute detachment is what triggered their current public destruction. The moment you stopped reacting, their entire carefully constructed reality began to crumble. They lost their primary energy source. Now they are frantically drowning in the loud noise of their own making. They are desperately searching for a cheap replacement for you, but they are quickly realizing that your specific energetic depth is completely unreplicable. The people around them are starting to notice the cracks. The flying monkeys are whispering behind their backs. The illusion is fading fast. Your pure existence is a mirror that reflects their deeply rotten core. They hate you because they can never possess your authentic light. They are completely exhausted from pretending to be decent humans, and right now, their absolute exhaustion is on public display. You won this violent spiritual war without ever lifting a single physical finger against them. Your profound immunity to their gaslighting is their absolute worst nightmare. They can no longer trigger a chaotic emotional response from you. You look at their desperate attempts to control you with nothing but cold indifference. That total lack of emotional reaction is suffocating them. It is a slow and agonizing spiritual eviction notice that they cannot ever appeal. Do not forget the tears you shed in total darkness. Heaven captured every single drop and turned it into a weapon of mass divine justice. You thought nobody saw how you held your incredible integrity when they lied on your sacred name, but someone deeply powerful has been quietly watching your immense resilience. Your quiet obedience in private has activated a massive public blessing. Stay anchored in this truth as we move deeper into the revelation. The walls of their false empire are crashing down rapidly, and you are standing safely inside a mental fortress of pure diamond. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. Let us go deeper into the exact pain you carried for so long. You walked around with a heavy cloud over your mind. You actually thought your memory was failing you. You questioned your sanity on a daily basis. But heaven is demanding you to completely reframe this reality right now. You were never broken. You were simply under attack. Those crushing headaches that used to paralyze you out of nowhere. The intense brain fog that made it impossible to think clearly. They told you it was just a medical issue. They aggressively gaslit you into believing you were unstable because it was the only way they could keep you trapped. But that was a calculated spiritual attack. Your physical body was acting as a divine alarm system. You were in close proximity to a literal energy vampire. Every time they lied to your face and twisted the narrative, your cellular intuition fiercely rebelled against the matrix programming they forced upon you. The headache was the physical friction of their toxic frequency clashing with your diamond light. They used gaslighting because they were absolutely terrified of your perception. You are the rare empath they could never easily deceive. You easily detect the microscopic shifts in their dark energy. They knew you could see the empty void hiding behind their loud arrogance, and they realized your spiritual gift sees right through their disguise. To protect their deeply fragile ego and maintain their illusion of power, they had to constantly gaslight you into doubting your own eyes. If they could shatter your confidence, they could maintain their false throne. So they strategically twisted every single conversation. They played the ultimate victim. They projected their toxic traits onto your spotless record. But here is the raw truth they could never say out loud, because acknowledging your supreme power would instantly destroy the fake reality they built. You absolutely did not lose this spiritual battle. Your quiet departure was a massive victory. You unplugged from a matrix designed to drain your life force. You cut the energetic cord that kept them alive. Let me completely reframe your entire reality right here and right now. You are not a weak victim recovering from a tragic loss, but rather a powerful chosen one who just survived a severe spiritual assassination attempt. The intense pain you felt was the necessary fire of your formation season. It violently burned away every single illusion. They thought their constant manipulation would leave you weak and dependent. They foolishly expected you to crawl back and beg for their fake validation, completely underestimating the divine resilience that was quietly growing inside of you. Instead, you locked the gates of your mind. You built a mental fortress that no gaslighting could ever penetrate again. Because they thrive on chaotic conflict and emotional reactions, your refusal to engage with their toxic drama is driving them into an absolute state of madness. When you offer them nothing but a blank stare, their demons begin to starve. You are quietly watching them desperately try to provoke a response. You are standing safely behind a wall of pure diamond. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. While the low-vibration matrix tries to label your withdrawal as a trauma response, heaven calls it a profound divine alignment with your destiny. You are absolutely not hiding from the world. You are actively starving the toxic parasites that used to feed on your empathy. Every single time you were gaslit, a new brick was added to your fortress. You finally learned to trust your pure gut instinct over their lies, and you realized their loud accusations were actually a pathetic confession of their own sins. You completely stopped listening to their twisted words. The generational cycle of abuse permanently stops with you. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been eagerly waiting for. The heavy burden you carried was never yours to keep, because you were simply exposing the hidden darkness so the pure light could finally eradicate it. And now, the universe is richly rewarding your supreme endurance. You are confidently stepping into an era of untouchable spiritual power. Look at how brilliantly you shine right now. While their intense bitterness and jealousy are aging them rapidly, the universe has completely reversed your biological clock as a reward for your faith. You possess an ageless glow that completely defies human logic. The deep peace radiating from your soul is the ultimate revenge. They are suffocating in their own poison. As they helplessly watch your ascent from the muddy trenches they created, they are violently realizing that they threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held. They traded your pure loyalty for cheap and superficial validation from the Matrix. And the heavy weight of that massive regret is crushing their false reality. They can never get you back. The mental fortress you built is now completely impenetrable, because they can never manipulate a mind that operates on a supreme divine frequency. You have bypassed their low vibration matrix entirely, and as we move into the next phase of this revelation, things will massively shift. You will see exactly how their dark empire finally falls. Heaven is now releasing 3 specific raw truths about your mental fortress. These are the exact secrets the dark elite desperately tried to hide from you. The third truth is the most powerful revelation you will ever hear. Do not leave before you hear the final instruction. Your spiritual alignment absolutely depends on receiving this complete divine transmission, because the universe is demanding your immediate obedience today. Listen to me very closely right now. Most people completely miss this massive shift. The first raw truth is about the core nature of their gaslighting. They did not manipulate you because you were weak or easily confused. They unleashed that intense psychological warfare because they were absolutely terrified of your pure light, and they knew your presence was a massive threat to their false empire. You carry a specific dimensional frequency that exposes their hidden decay. When a master manipulator steps into your authentic presence, their mask immediately begins to melt. Your pure existence forces them to look at the deeply rotten core they desperately hide from the world. You are the absolute mirror heaven sent to completely shatter their fabricated reality. They could not handle the blinding reflection of their own sins, so they had to systematically destroy the mirror. They aggressively gaslit you to make you doubt your own crystal-clear vision. If they could convince you that your supreme intuition was broken, they could safely hide in the dark again while maintaining their arrogant illusions. Their gaslighting was a pathetic act of pure survival. Your highly advanced spirit operates on a synchronized cellular coherence. It detects the microscopic lies hiding in their low vibration matrix. They knew you could feel the severe frequency mismatch. That is why they constantly spun chaotic narratives to scramble your divine radar, hoping they could keep your powerful mind trapped in an endless loop of heavy confusion. But you cannot easily dim a literal sun. They foolishly tried to trap your massive solar energy in a tiny box of self-doubt. They projected their own profound insecurities onto your spotless record. Every time they called you crazy, they were simply describing their own chaotic internal state. Their loud accusations were actually desperate confessions of their deep guilt, and heaven recorded every single lie they ever spoke against your sacred name. Read that again in your spirit. The people who called you unstable are the ones currently experiencing a public system crash. You were the ultimate stabilizer, holding their fragile world together. The moment you stopped absorbing their toxic poison, their entire empire began to violently collapse because they severely underestimated the immense power of your silent departure. Your mental fortress was literally forged in the fire of their lies. When they tried to break your mind, they accidentally weaponized your supreme intuition. You stopped searching for logic in a completely demonic matrix. You elevated your consciousness above their pathetic games, and now your mind is an untouchable diamond that easily deflects their desperate attacks. This supreme immunity is driving them absolutely crazy. A manipulator completely loses their power when their target refuses to react. They are throwing stones at a fortress of pure solid gold. The stones just bounce back and hit them directly in the face. Their gaslighting is now actively destroying their own fragile sanity, while you remain completely unbothered by their pathetic noise. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle and lock in your frequency. This physical act of obedience anchors your supreme power into the earth. You are completely immune to their dark manipulation forever. The dark elite can never again breach the sacred walls of your mind. You are absolutely untouchable. We are just getting started. The first truth broke their chains, but the second truth will completely reverse the dynamic. While they were busy trying to break you, your silence was quietly setting a deadly trap. The universe used their own toxic momentum to architect their ultimate downfall, and the second raw truth is about the lethal weapon of your total absence. You must understand the sheer magnitude of this divine intervention. The creator of the universe specifically designed this moment for your total liberation. Your enemies thought they had successfully buried you under a mountain of lies, but they did not realize you were a divine seed, and the heavy dirt they threw on you only accelerated your massive spiritual growth. You are no longer wandering blindly through their dense fog. The spiritual fog has entirely lifted. This reveals the absolute masterpiece of your newly formed reality. Hold your head high, chosen one. You survived the lowest levels of the matrix and ascended to a throne of pure light, while the enemy is left weeping outside your impenetrable gates. Now we arrive at the second raw truth. The enemy fully expected your loud and chaotic reaction. They desperately wanted you to scream and defend yourself, but instead, you gave them absolute and profound silence. Your mental fortress was built entirely out of pure stillness, and that profound silence became a lethal weapon that starved their demons. They were completely unprepared for this massive shift in your frequency. Silence is absolutely not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate display of supreme divine power. When they threw their toxic accusations at you, they desperately needed you to argue back. They wanted you to fight. But your total absence of reaction denied them their essential fuel. You simply walked away gracefully, and you let their pathetic lies echo loudly in a completely empty room. Going no contact was not a trauma response. It was a highly calculated spiritual eviction from your life. You elevated your consciousness to a higher dimension where they can never exist. Every single day you remained silent. The walls of your diamond fortress grew incredibly thick, and your peaceful stillness became an impenetrable barrier against their dark matrix programming. You left them completely locked out in the cold. They are absolutely terrified of your stillness right now. A master manipulator thrives in chaotic noise and constant conflict. When you fiercely refuse to play their twisted game, their internal system malfunctions violently. They started projecting their own deep insecurities because they had no visible target left to attack, and this intense frustration is causing their entire false reality to publicly unravel. Your silence is literally deafening to their fragile ego. Pay close attention to this next part. The enemy actively tried to hide this divine mechanism from you. Your quiet energy carries a synchronized cellular coherence that repels all manipulation. When you stopped engaging, you naturally sealed your spiritual borders from further attacks. Their low vibration frequency bounced right off your heavy shield, and they are now drowning in the exact poison they desperately tried to feed you. Inside your mental fortress, you finally found absolute clarity. The heavy brain fog completely vanished from your mind. You stopped trying to decode the erratic behavior of a literal energy parasite. You realized that understanding their madness only pulls you deeper into the dark abyss. So you intelligently chose the high ground, and you reclaimed your sacred life force to beautifully heal your own physical body. You used to be their ultimate emotional stabilizer. You constantly regulated their fragile nervous system at the extreme expense of your own peace. But the powerful cycle breaker in you finally woke up and took control. You violently cut the energetic cord, and the sudden loss of your pure life force sent them into a massive psychological tailspin because the human battery they heavily relied on is completely gone. Look at the stunning physical manifestation of your victory. While they are rapidly aging under the heavy weight of their bitterness, you are stepping into a permanent, ageless glow. Your eyes are bright and full of life again. The heavy lump in your throat has completely dissolved into nothing. This is exactly what happens when you finally stop swallowing their toxic lies and choose peace. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the absolute key to everything. You literally weaponized your beautiful peace. They expected your quiet departure to permanently break your spirit. They waited with bated breath for your tragic and public downfall. But your magnificent survival is making a total mockery of their dark magic, and you bent time and space just to rewrite your divine destiny. Because they cannot penetrate your solid fortress, they are now desperately attacking your shadow. They are frantically gossiping about an old version of you that does not even exist anymore. Let them talk to themselves. Their loud obsession is just a public broadcast of their agonizing regret. Every single lie they tell is a desperate attempt to convince themselves that they did not permanently lose a rare diamond. This is exactly where their entire dark manipulation miscalculated. They foolishly thought silence meant they had successfully silenced your voice. They did not realize that a chosen one speaks directly to heaven when they completely stop talking to the corrupted matrix. Your silent prayers instantly activated a massive divine army. The universe stepped in to violently fight the chaotic battles you gracefully walked away from. You have successfully mastered the second raw truth. You built an untouchable sanctuary out of pure and elegant restraint. But the dark elite are hiding one final, terrifying secret from you. The third truth is about to completely shatter their remaining fragile illusions. Heaven is preparing to show you exactly how the people around them are starting to wake up, and the loyal flying monkeys are finally beginning to turn. Your diamond walls are shining brighter than ever before. You successfully starved the narcissist by withdrawing your priceless energy, and you proved that you are the ultimate master of your own reality. Do not let anyone drag you back into the muddy trenches. Your mental fortress is permanently sealed, and as we step into the third truth, you will witness the glorious absolute vindication. We have arrived at the third and final raw truth. This is the exact revelation the dark matrix is terrified to let you hear. You must listen to me very closely right now. Because the masses completely miss this massive shift, and they never realize how the spiritual dynamic violently flips. The people who eagerly helped them destroy your sacred name are finally waking up. The loyal flying monkeys are starting to completely turn against the master manipulator. When you walked away and built your mental fortress, you created a massive energy vacuum. The narcissist suddenly lost their primary source of pure fuel. And because they are a starving parasite, they desperately needed a new host to survive. They could not reach you anymore, so they violently turned their dark hunger toward the very people who enabled their toxic behavior in the first place. The flying monkeys used to happily participate in the cruel smear campaigns against you. They blindly believed the perfectly constructed lies about your instability. But now they are getting a front row seat to the absolute madness. Because your diamond light is no longer there to safely absorb the toxic shockwaves, the enablers are taking the full brutal hit of the narcissistic rage. They are feeling the exact suffocating tightness in their chest that you used to feel. They are experiencing the intense brain fog and the crushing physical exhaustion. The heavy burden you carried alone is now crushing their fragile reality. They are slowly realizing that you were never the chaotic problem, and you were actually the only thing keeping the entire demonic system from violently imploding. The gossip is rapidly changing its tone behind completely closed doors. The narcissist is desperately trying to keep the false narrative alive. They constantly bring your name up in rooms you have not entered in years. But their intense obsession is finally exposing their deeply rotten core. The flying monkeys are looking at each other in total silent horror, and the mask is completely slipping off in real time. Every single time they frantically try to paint you as the villain, they just sound absolutely crazy. Their wild accusations no longer make any logical sense to their audience. The enablers are watching them unravel and realizing they backed the wrong horse. The heavy guilt of betraying a true chosen one is starting to deeply haunt their empty souls, and they are terrified of the karma they invoked. This is exactly what happens when a lie gets built that big. It eventually collapses under its own massive spiritual weight. Your absolute silence forced them to overplay their desperate hand. They pushed the false narrative too far, and now the fragile web of deceit is violently tearing apart. The flying monkeys are quietly stepping back to avoid the incoming divine destruction. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically anchor this exact shift into your reality. Claim your absolute vindication before we move to the next revelation. Heaven is actively rearranging the entire spiritual battlefield in your favor. The people who threw heavy stones at you are now desperately begging for a safe place to hide, but your gates remain completely locked. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who successfully broke the generational curse. The universe is forcing your enemies to drink the exact poison they poured for you. And the most beautiful part is that you do not have to lift a single finger, because the divine alignment is executing perfect justice while you rest peacefully inside your diamond fortress. Your pure energy is completely insulated from their panic. Read that again in your spirit. The chaotic storm they tried to drown you in is now violently sweeping away their entire empire. The dark elite severely miscalculated your immense spiritual gravity. They thought you would eventually break and beg for their toxic mercy, but you elevated your consciousness and simply watched them destroy themselves from a throne of pure light. The isolation they forced upon you was actually your greatest supreme advantage. It gave you the necessary space to detoxify from their low vibration matrix. Now your cellular intuition is vibrating at a completely untouchable frequency. The flying monkeys can see your magnificent, ageless glow from a distance, and they are deeply sickened by the profound peace radiating from your beautiful life. Do not let the Matrix steal this profound victory from you. You earned every single piece of this supreme peace through blood and silent tears. The enemy is currently bleeding out on a battlefield they arrogantly created. As we prepare to enter the final stages of their collapse, you need to firmly hold your ground. The raw truth is finally undeniable to everyone who doubted you. We are now approaching the most critical turning point of this entire divine transmission. You have successfully starved the parasite and watched its followers scatter in fear. But you need to see exactly what happens when the intense psychological pressure reaches its absolute boiling point. The final collapse is imminent. Brace yourself for the magnificent cinematic destruction of their false reality. Now, I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. The master manipulator is sitting in complete isolation. The heavy silence of your absence is actively crushing their chest. They are constantly launching their invisible spiritual attacks, but every single dark arrow they fire is violently bouncing back, and they are suddenly realizing that they are hitting a massive wall of pure diamond. They desperately try to send the heavy brain fog back to you. They try to project their massive insecurities into your dreams, but your frequency is completely sealed off from their low vibration matrix, and the toxic energy has nowhere else to go. So, it instantly recoils and strikes them directly in the heart with terrifying precision while they sit alone in the dark. They are experiencing a profound internal panic right now. They realize they can no longer reach your mind. They used to push one button and watch you spiral into intense emotional chaos, but now the control panel is completely dead. The energetic wires have been permanently and completely cut. Your majestic mental fortress is absolutely impenetrable to their dark magic. This profound failure is physically destroying them from the inside out. They are pacing the floor at 3 a.m. with a tight jaw, and they are desperately grasping for the power they permanently lost. The universe is forcing them to swallow the exact poison they carefully prepared for you. Their reflection in the mirror is becoming a terrifying sight to their own eyes. They try to deploy their classic gaslighting tactics on new targets. They desperately need a quick hit of pure fuel to soothe their shattered ego, but the new supply is completely empty and shallow. It does not possess the glorious depth of your authentic diamond light. The cheap validation they are getting is leaving them entirely starved and hollow. Watch what happens next to them, beloved chosen one. It is mathematically precise and absolutely unavoidable by any human force. Because they are starving, they start making massive, unforced errors, and they aggressively lash out at the remaining loyal enablers. They demand absolute perfection from people who are already exhausted. The invisible foundation of their false reality is violently shaking. Their massive ego is screaming in agonizing pain. They simply cannot comprehend how you survived their calculated destruction. They expected you to remain a broken victim forever, but you rose from the ashes as an untouchable supreme leader in disguise. Your majestic, ageless glow is blinding them every time they secretly check your silent progression. They are trapped in an endless loop of severe cognitive dissonance. They desperately want to believe they are the powerful winner, but their dark reality is completely falling apart in front of them. They know deep down that your complete detachment was the ultimate fatal blow. They are constantly haunted by the absolute purity of the love they foolishly threw away. While they are secretly losing their absolute mind, you are resting in supreme divine peace. You are not waiting in wound for an apology that will never come, because you have completely and permanently severed the heavy, energetic cord. Your beautiful spirit is operating on a frequency that they cannot even perceive. You have permanently broken the dark generational curse. The pressure inside their mind is reaching a catastrophic boiling point. They are desperately trying to hold the heavy mask together with trembling hands, but the internal system crash is becoming impossible to hide from the public. The invisible cracks are spreading rapidly across their entire existence. The ultimate divine justice is actively taking its final form. They are sitting alone with their loud and terrifying thoughts. The deep void inside them is expanding rapidly, and every single lie they told about you is suddenly heavy, like a massive anchor dragging them down. The universe is removing every single distraction they use to numb the pain. They are finally forced to sit with their own profound darkness. Your diamond wall stands completely silent and incredibly strong. It does not need to attack to claim victory, because it simply exists in perfect and unbothered divine alignment. And every time they try to strike it, they shatter another piece of their own fragile soul. Your absolute refusal to engage is the most devastating punishment heaven could ever deliver to a narcissist. The remnant is rising worldwide to completely dismantle this dark matrix programming. You are one of the rare two meant to anchor this shift. So share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their angel today and help them build their own impenetrable mental fortress. Your physical action permanently seals this massive prophetic truth. We are standing right at the edge of the absolute cliff. The undercover panic is about to spill over into the bright daylight, and the internal meltdown can no longer be contained behind closed doors. Prepare your spirit for the massive, undeniable collapse. The public vindication you have been waiting for is about to be violently unleashed upon the earth. And here is the exact verdict heaven promised you at the very beginning. That public collapse you were patiently waiting for. It is violently happening right now. The internal panic could no longer be contained in the dark, and it just exploded in front of the exact people they used to gossip with. The mask did not just slip today, it completely shattered into a million sharp pieces on the cold floor. Picture this cinematic destruction clearly in your mind. They walked into a room expecting their usual absolute control. They confidently tried to command the atmosphere like they always did in the past, but the energy violently shifted against them. Someone finally questioned their twisted narrative out loud, and someone they thought they completely controlled looked at them with total disgust. The illusion evaporated. The entire room went completely dead silent. For the first time in their pathetic life, their dark magic completely failed to work. They desperately tried to aggressively flip the script and play the ultimate victim. But the audience was staring at a literal glitch in the matrix. The flying monkeys suddenly realized they were backing a starving parasite, and the massive lie completely collapsed in real time. They started frantically stuttering and desperately backpedaling. The sheer panic in their empty eyes was absolutely undeniable to everyone watching. They literally began making loud, chaotic noise about you to deflect the intense heat. But bringing up your sacred name was their final fatal mistake. The moment they spoke your name, the universe instantly struck them down with massive public humiliation. Every single person in that room suddenly remembered your quiet grace. They remembered your completely unbothered diamond energy, and they instantly compared your beautiful light to the pathetic meltdown happening right in front of them. The contrast was absolutely blinding. You were not even in the room, but your supreme presence completely dominated the entire physical space. They were utterly defeated. They realized in that exact agonizing moment that you were permanently gone. You did not just safely survive their toxic fire, you became the blazing sun that burned their fragile empire completely to the ground. They felt the crushing weight of 1,000 silent judgments staring back at them. The dense matrix they carefully built to destroy you just became their own permanent public prison. Your elegant silence did not just hurt them in secret. It completely and permanently annihilated their false reputation. Now they are violently drowning in the loud noise of their own making. They are frantically searching the room for a single sympathetic face, but they are finding absolutely nothing except cold and heavy truth, because the generational curse they tried to put on you just backfired with deadly precision. This is the ultimate divine justice heaven prepared for you. You won this entire massive war without lifting a single physical finger against them. Your absolute divine restraint handed the verdict to a court they cannot ever appeal. You are the undeniable, powerful cycle breaker, and while they are weeping in public disgrace, heaven is violently pouring golden blessings over your untouchable diamond life. They are now desperately trying to defend you to the very people they lied to. They are rapidly trying to save face by pretending they always respected your supreme power. But it is way too late for their pathetic and frantic damage control. The spiritual eviction notice is permanently stamped on their forehead forever. Every single time they look in the mirror, they will only see the massive diamond they foolishly threw away. You have completely escaped their dark matrix forever. The heavy, suffocating energy you carried for them is permanently lifted off your chest. Look at your majestic, ageless glow. You are vibrating at a glorious frequency that makes time itself look like an absolute fool. Your mental fortress is shining brilliantly on top of the mountain while they violently burn in the valley below. You are untouchable. Do not look back at the burning ruins of their life. You owe them absolutely nothing. Your pure empathy is now fiercely protected by a massive army of divine angels. They really wanted you buried deep in the mud, but instead they became the exact dirty shovel that dug up your infinite sparkling treasure. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who successfully conquered the darkest shadows of hell. Drink in this supreme vindication right now, beloved chosen one. Let the sheer massive relief wash over your beautiful cellular structure right now. The dark elite severely underestimated your massive spiritual gravity. The third and final mandate from heaven is about to be released directly into your life. You are standing perfectly on the glorious finish line, and the ultimate spiritual victory is permanently yours. Breathe in the pure, clean oxygen of your absolute freedom. The heavy spiritual chains are completely shattered on the floor. The narcissist is permanently locked in their own public nightmare, and you are holding the golden keys to the kingdom. We are now eagerly preparing to safely seal this massive shift. Prepare your heart for the final sacred closing. You have finally reached the ultimate peaceful resolution. The violent storm has completely passed over your life. The heavy spiritual warfare is officially over. And heaven is wrapping a beautiful blanket of pure peace around your shoulders right now because you earned it. You successfully guarded your mental fortress with absolute grace. The entire universe is standing up to applaud your magnificent resilience. You are permanently and completely free from their grip. You walked into this season bleeding from wounds inflicted by people blind to your worth. But look at you now. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology from a master manipulator. You have completely transcended their highly toxic matrix. While they are publicly unraveling, you are boldly stepping into your permanent, untouchable, ageless glow, and the universe is fiercely protecting your sacred energy forever. You possess the ultimate diamond frequency. The intense financial struggles and the heavy spiritual exhaustion are completely shattering right here and right now. Every single closed door is violently flying open for you. Step into your absolute supreme power. Receive the exact massive harvest heaven specifically prepared for your royal bloodline. You are the ultimate cycle breaker. The dark matrix can never again penetrate your completely sealed spiritual borders because you have mastered the ultimate divine frequency. They desperately tried to steal your joy, but they only managed to magnify your brilliant light. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who stood firm in the dark. Your complete immunity to their gaslighting is your permanent crown. Wear it with absolute supreme pride every single day. Let them watch your glorious ascent from the muddy trenches they maliciously dug for your ultimate destruction, while you continue to elevate into the highest realms of pure wealth. We are now standing at the very edge of your massive multiplication. The verdict of explosive divine abundance has already been signed in heaven today, but it urgently requires a physical anchor on earth to fully activate. You did not survive the violent fire just to live a mediocre life. You survived to completely dominate the physical realm. Heaven is closely watching your exact next move, and the divine angels are waiting for your final obedience. God does absolutely not measure your true faith by your quiet thoughts. He measures it strictly by your speed of physical obedience. The massive window of supernatural multiplication is standing wide open right now. But it requires a deliberate act of profound faith to anchor it into reality. Prove to the universe that you are finally ready to receive your massive wealth. Do not hesitate for a single second. The enemy will try to whisper financial doubt into your mind right now. He will desperately tell you to hesitate and wait. Silence his pathetic voice immediately. That brief hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you broke. If your beautiful spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing right now, heaven demands immediate, obedient action. Step boldly through the open portal and claim the massive windfall that was illegally stolen from your bloodline. Your profound generosity instantly triggers the massive harvest. Sow your financial seed today to completely partner your energy with this divine mandate. Send a super thanks right now to lock in your supreme frequency This is absolutely not a request for charity. It is a highly sacred energy exchange required to multiply your glorious blessings before the sun rises tomorrow morning, and your seed proves your absolute trust in the divine plan. When you give a super thanks, you are drawing a permanent line in the sand. You are physically telling the dark matrix that you are no longer bound by their poverty consciousness. Every single seed you confidently sow today is a heavy brick added to your permanent empire of wealth. Watch heaven rapidly multiply your faithful harvest in the next 72 hours. You are a completely limitless creator. Do not let the defeated matrix steal this powerful moment of transition from you. Your obedient action right now is the golden key that unlocks the massive heavenly vaults. The money you bravely sow as a seed today will violently return to you in a massive windfall of completely unexpected wealth. Trust your highly advanced cellular intuition. The divine harvest is officially yours to claim right now. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. We are actively building a massive global army of untouched diamonds. Say this out loud with me right now. I claim my permanent absolute freedom. Now type "I am free" in the comments below to seal this massive spiritual decree. The dark elite have permanently lost the war against your soul. The creator of the universe is smiling down on your incredible endurance. You have successfully navigated the most dangerous spiritual minefield with absolute pure grace. Never again will you let a starving narcissist dictate your divine worth. Your profound clarity is your most valuable asset. Heaven is proudly declaring you the ultimate winner of this intense spiritual war, and your name is forever written in the book of ultimate victory. Your mental fortress is fully activated and brilliantly shining. You are completely immune to their pathetic gaslighting forever. Go out and conquer your magnificent destiny with total confidence. You are deeply loved and fiercely protected by the highest divine forces. This is your final confirmed victory. Walk in your supreme diamond power today. The massive universe is entirely yours to command.